Your alarm screams at 6 a.m. It's a familiar sound, the starting gun for a race you feel like you're already losing. You drag yourself to work, trade 10, maybe 12 hours of your life for a paycheck that seems to evaporate before the next one even has a chance to land. You look at your bank account, and it's the same number every month. It feels like it's super glued to the screen, right? It's a frustrating cycle of running hard just to stay in the same place. Now let's flip that scene entirely. Imagine you wake up naturally, no alarm needed. You roll over, check your phone, and see a notification. Overnight, you made $43. It's not a lottery win, but think about what that means. That $43 covers your week's groceries. It pays for a full tank of gas. It buys the fancy oat milk cold brew you secretly love. And it does that every single day, all while you were literally drooling on a pillow. If that sounds better than the 6 a.m. alarm, stick around. I'm handing you the exact 3-step playbook I used to build that very autopilot income machine. It's built on 2 pillars, boring but reliable index funds, plus one tiny digital side hustle that fuels itself. There's no crypto roulette here, no day trading heartburn, just a quiet, simple system that works in the background to print micro paychecks for you 24/7. Let me give you a quick backstory so you know I'm not some trust fund kid flexing rented Lambos on Instagram. Just 5 years ago, my reality was a checking account with a balance of negative $2,400. I was juggling 2 unpaid internships, which meant I was working for free and trying to fill the gaps by door-dashing cold fries to people at 11 p.m. It was a grind, and I felt trapped. Fast forward to today, and the very same system you're about to copy now consistently drips between $130 and $280 into my brokerage account overnight, every single night. I'm not here promising you yachts or a mansion. I'm promising something far more valuable. Freedom from the paycheck-to-paycheck hamster wheel. Freedom from the anxiety of an unexpected bill. This is your blueprint for building that freedom. Ready to build yours? Reality check. Before we dive in, let's get one thing straight. Passive doesn't mean zero work ever. It means you do the work up front, so you can reap the rewards later with minimal effort. Think of it like a drip coffee machine. The setup is crucial. You have to scoop the grounds, add the water, and press the start button. But once that's done, you walk away. The machine does the rest, and a few minutes later, you have a perfect pot of coffee. If you skip that initial setup, you just end up with hot brown water, basically nothing. But if you nail the setup, you get to sip on freedom every single morning. That's the deal. If you're willing to do the setup, you can enjoy the results for years to come. Cool? Let's start the brew. Step 1, the foundation. Buy the profit, not the hype. Here's a little secret. You already shovel cash at giant corporations every single day. You watch Netflix, you drink Coke, you use an Apple phone. You're making them rich. But what if you could own a tiny slice of those companies and have them mail you royalty checks for being a part owner? That's exactly what a dividend index fund does. It's a simple way to buy a basket of hundreds or even thousands of successful companies in one go. My personal go-to, and a great place to start, is Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund, ticker symbol VTI. With one click, you own a piece of over 3,700 US companies. This diversification is your secret weapon. Imagine Amazon has a bad quarter and its stock sneezes and drops 10%. If you only owned Amazon stock, that would be a painful day. But with VTI, it barely registers. While Amazon is down, Colgate is still selling toothpaste, John Deere is still building tractors, and thousands of other businesses are chugging along. This makes your investment journey smoother than fresh asphalt. Now, if you look up VTI's dividend yield, you might see a number like 1.8%. I know what you're thinking. That sounds meh. But you're missing the magic. That's 1.8% in real cash that hits your account every quarter just for holding the investment. The real power move is to automatically reinvest those dividends. When you do, you start compounding on autopilot. Let's run the numbers. Investing just $100 a month at an average 8% annual return grows to nearly $59,000 in 20 years. The craziest part? About half of that total is pure profit you earned from growth and dividends, much of it while you were sound asleep. To get started, you just open a brokerage account. Fidelity, Schwab, Public, they're all great. Search for the ticker, VTI, and hit buy. That's it. Your foundation is poured. Step 2. The fuel. Create one micro-digital asset. The index fund is our foundation, but we need to fuel it with consistent cash. Cash that shows up even when your boss forgets to approve your raise. The good news is, you don't need to be a creative genius or a tech wizard. Your goal is to solve a small 15-minute problem that people are desperately Googling at 2 a.m. Think about it. What are people stressed about? A messy resume? A confusing spreadsheet? Planning a weekly budget? Let's take the resume example. I banged out a clean, simple template in Google Docs one Saturday afternoon. I listed it on a platform called Gumroad for $9. The first sale notification dinged on my phone while I was at home scrubbing lasagna pans. It was an incredible feeling. 30 days later, that one document had made $312. If you think you're not a designer, that's no excuse. Canva is a free tool. Just search for checklist. Find a design you like, swap the colors, change the text, and export it as a PDF. Done. If you're not a writer, record your screen. A 20-minute Loom video showing someone how to haggle with their cable company to lower their bill can be a product. Park that video replay behind a $12 paywall. People aren't paying for Hollywood-level production. They are paying for speed and for a solution to their problem. The sweet spot price for these micro-assets is between $7 and $29. It's low enough for an impulse buy, but high enough to be meaningful. Platforms like Gumroad, Etsy, PayHip, and Ko-fi make this incredibly easy. They handle the payment and file delivery, and in return, they skim a small fee, around 5%. That's just cheap rent for your digital storefront. Your mission is to pick one idea and get it finished this weekend. Step 3, the autopilot. Stitch. Make the side hustle feed the portfolio. This is where the magic happens, the step that separates dabblers from wealth builders. Most folks earn some side money, and then they spend that side money. A little extra cash comes in, and it goes right back out on takeout or a new pair of sneakers. We're going to break that habit with one simple, unbreakable rule, the 70-30 split. Here's how it works. For every dollar you earn from your digital asset, 70% stays liquid. You can use it for bills, for fun, for life. It's your reward. But the other 30%? That gets automatically zipped directly into your VTI investment the instant it lands. You set this up once inside your brokerage account. They all offer recurring deposits, and the machine never forgets. You sell a $9 template at 9 a.m., and by 9:01, a portion of that sale, your $2.70, is already on its way to your investment account to start hunting for dividends. Why is this so powerful? Because your side hustle is no longer just funding your lattes, it's actively funding your freedom. Let's look at the math. One file that sells just twice a week brings in about $936 a year. By diverting 30% of that, you automatically shove another $280 into VTI without even thinking about it. Let that compound at 8% for 10 years, and it turns into roughly $4,200 you built while binging sitcoms. Now, multiply that by 5 different digital products, and you'll start to see why the phrase "grows while you sleep" isn't clickbait. It's just bookkeeping. If you're a spreadsheet junkie like me, create a simple tracker. List your product, the platform it's on, your monthly sales, and the 30% auto deposit amount. It's incredibly motivating to see the numbers go up. For an extra dose of motivation, use a free tool like IFTTT, if this then that. You can create a simple command that texts you, stockpile triggered plus $12.60 every time a sale rolls in. It feels like a video game achievement and keeps you hooked on the game of building assets instead of mindlessly scrolling TikTok. Of course, no investment is without risk. Sometimes sales of your digital products might stall, or in rare cases, companies might cut their dividends. That's why we need a seatbelt. First, diversify your investments. You can mix VTI with a fund like VXUS for global exposure, giving you a slice of companies outside the US. Or you could add SCHD, which focuses on companies with higher dividend yields. Second, and this is non-negotiable, keep 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in a high-yield savings account. This is your emergency fund, and it ensures that if the market takes a dive, you're never forced to sell your investments at the bottom to cover a surprise bill. Don't forget, Uncle Sam will want his cut. It's important to understand the basics. The money you make from your side hustle is considered ordinary income and is taxed at your regular rate. However, your investments get preferential treatment. Qualified dividends and long-term capital gains, profits from investments held over a year, are taxed at much lower rates. This is another way your money works harder for you inside the market. Just be sure to save every email receipt from your sales and brokerage. A tool like TurboTax or Free Tax USA will handle the grunt work of filing. Once your first template or guide hits 200 sales, you have proof that you've solved a real problem. Now it's time to scale. You can bundle your resume template with a matching cover letter template. You could create a short video course and upsell a $49 personalized review. You could even translate your product into Spanish to reach a whole new audience. Each new layer you add feeds the exact same 70-30 split. My single Notion budget tracker eventually morphed into a 5-product suite that now out-earns my first salary. And 30% of every single sale still diverts directly into my stocks. It's growth on top of growth, autopilot on top of autopilot. To make this work, you need to change the way you see money. Stop asking, how much can I buy with this dollar? And start asking, how do I turn the dollars I already see into soldiers that go out and bring back prisoners? Think of it this way. Your 9-to-5 job pays today's bills. Your micro-products are your recruitment centers, bringing in new soldiers, dollars. And your index funds are the barracks where those soldiers work for you, locking in profits in a compound interest jail. When you shift your identity from a consumer to a commander of your own capital, the entire scoreboard changes, and you start winning the game. I hear the excuses already. I'm not techie. If you can upload a photo to Instagram, you have the skills to upload a PDF to Gumroad. The platforms are designed to be simple. But I don't have an audience. You don't need one. Marketplaces like Etsy and Gumroad bring their own traffic. Using the right keywords and tags in your product description does the heavy lifting to get you discovered. But stocks feel too risky. I'll tell you what's truly risky. Leaving your cash in a savings account, earning 0.4%, while inflation eats away 3% of its value every year. You're guaranteed to lose purchasing power. Historically, a diversified index fund has never lost money over any 15-year period. The real risk is not getting started. This system works for anyone. Take Maria, a barista. She created a $6 checklist for new baristas on how to manage a busy morning shift. It now brings in about $98 a month. 30% of that is auto-invested. After just 18 months, she owns over $1,460 in VTI and just got her first dividend payment of $7.30. She literally turned lattes into shares of stock. Or Devin, a college kid. He made a simple $12 slide deck explaining how to use pivot tables in Excel. A TikTok video he made demonstrating it went mini viral, and he made $1,210 in 30 days. He automatically siphoned $363 of that into SCHD. He funded his entire spring break road trip with his dividend income, not with debt. Finally, there's Linda, a retired teacher. She wrote a $14 PDF guide on how to start writing a memoir. She's had 54 sales so far, for a total of $756 she never expected to have. She calls the quarterly 226 VTI transfer her Grand Babies Fund. Let's be realistic. This is not about overnight millions. It's about building realistic, sustainable freedom. Here's what the journey looks like. Week 1. You open your brokerage account and buy your very first share of VTI. Weekend 2. You create and publish your one digital product. Month 1. You set up the 70-30 automation. Month 3. Your first dividend payment hits. It might only be enough for a pizza. But it's proof the machine works. By year 1, your side hustle and dividends could easily add an extra $600 to $1,200 to your net worth. By year 5, that extra wealth could cross the $10,000 mark. And by year 10, the snowball can be big enough to out-earn your car payment every month. Here are the tools to get this done. For brokerages, look at Fidelity, Public, or M1 Finance. For product builders, use free tools you already know like Canva, Google Docs, or Notion. For payment platforms, check out Gumroad, Etsy, or Payhip. For automation, use your bank's scheduled transfer feature or tools like IFTTT or Zapier. And for an idea goldmine, go to answerthepublic.com. Type in a topic and see what questions people are desperately searching for answers to. Then build the product that answers it. The math doesn't shout, it just works. A simple $9 product that you sell just 3 times a week equals $1,404 a year. 30% of that is $421, which gets invested. That $421, fed into VTI at an 8% average return for 15 years, becomes $11,670. Now imagine you do that with 5 simple products. You've just funded half of a retirement account on autopilot. So here it is, the 3 simple steps. Buy the market. Own a piece of the world's best companies through an index fund and collect the dividends they pay you. Launch one tiny digital asset. Solve one small problem and put it up for sale. Stitch them together with the 70-30 automation rule, so your hustle automatically feeds your portfolio while you sleep. That's it. You build the coffee maker once, so you can sip freedom every single morning. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below with the one product you're going to launch this weekend. Let's build these quiet money machines together. See you in the next one, and may your dividends post before breakfast.